A wild first weekend of the playoffs for the NBA. Let's bring in Doris Burke, our ESPN NBA analyst, who joins us on the Goodyear Hotline. Doris, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Exceptionally well. This is my favorite time of year. 2 NBA games on a night. Pick your network, and what a start. What a start. I guess, are you guys most surprised at Anthony Davis's performance?
I think Key is, Doris. Key's been in a glass case of emotion over this season with AD.
Yeah. He's interesting, Doris. He is very.
He's having trust issues this morning. Trust issues.
Very interesting. What did you, since you brought it up, what did you make of his performance? Because clearly, I was very disappointed.
Yeah. I just didn't feel like he had, you can tell, Keyshawn, obviously, when an athlete has pop, when there's verve, when there's just something elevated about what they're prepared to do on this particular day. And I never got that sense from Anthony Davis. So I appreciate it, especially in an era where accountability seems to be lacking in many ways. I did appreciate his sentiment saying we're not winning, obviously, with me. Playing to that level. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to swap over to the Phoenix Suns because, the question all season as they continued to build this incredible season was, are they legitimate? We've spent a lot of time talking about Devin Booker's scoring ability and what it means and all the things and accolades he's gotten, but what does it mean because he's not been in the playoffs? For that young man in his first game to take the game under control, particularly when they had to deal with Chris Paul being down, just could not have been more impressed. He proved yesterday he's going to be a problem all over the floor. You're going to have to send multiple. And every time I've been asked about this team, Jay Williams, and I'd love your thoughts on this, the one sentiment I had when I was asked, are they legitimate, is tell me which DeAndre Ayton is going to show up, because the young guy has got a ton of talent. They've been searching for consistency his entire young career, and he goes for 8 offensive rebounds, 21 and 16, vertical threat, problematic on the defensive end. Like, he was spectacular. The guy with the highest plus-minus for the Phoenix Suns yesterday was DeAndre Ayton. And if you're going to tell me that guy can string together those kinds of performances over the course of this playoffs, then the answer is a definitive yes, they are a force to be reckoned with. And obviously so much yet to be learned about how Chris Paul is feeling over the next day or two.
Well, DB, that's what we talked about the whole time while we were in studio for Countdown. It was that DeAndre Ayton, he was plus 16 yesterday, which was the best on the court. But it looked like DeAndre Ayton was the guy who was the veteran, who had been an NBA champion. And it looked like AD was the guy who was still trying to find his rhythm offensively. And sometimes it feels like AD offensively, when it's not going, that can also dictate how he plays defensively.
Yeah, correct. Listen, let's not kid ourselves. Anthony Davis, when he is playing at the top of his game, is a top 5 player because he has the potential to be elite on both ends. But if it's the Anthony Davis that is not engaged or that settles too often for jump shots, that isn't, all over the floor defensively. Think about the number of times this guy closes, from 8 to 10 feet away and gets a tip block on a 19 or a 3-point attempt, or the guy that's the fastest second jumper on the court and is sending things back emphatically. That's sprinting the floor in transition where the Lakers can be so dangerous, and you see those passes. So, yeah, bottom line is, like, you might have top 5 skills. It doesn't mean you're a top 5 player. Like, you got to prove it night in and night out, and this is the moment to do it. So I am fascinated. Number one, what does Frank Vogel do? Are the first 3 play calls in a half-court set in Game 2 Anthony Davis on the left block? Is that the play call? Let's see.
We're watching highlights as you're talking, and Key is losing his mind because he does look so passive. But Doris, I want to move to the East because I want to get your reaction to, we do this in the NFL. Week 1, we have these irrational takes right out of the first week of a season where there's still a ton of games. So the first weekend of the NBA playoffs, I want to have an irrational take as I'm watching all the games, and I'm especially close, really more on the East than I am on the West. And I'm looking at the Eastern games, and I'm watching the second half of Nets Celtics, and I come away with this irrational thought. There's no one that can match up with the Nets. I have a feeling, they might lose a game here and there, but they just look like they're going to roll through the East. They're just too talented, too deep, and they proved it in that second half when they really got it going.
Yeah, Alan, think about how poorly they played on the offensive end. I thought there were a couple of things going on. I think obviously the lack of continuity contributed to some turnovers. I thought the adrenaline was going, right? Here the big three were finally getting on the stage that they had in mind when they decided to join forces. And I obviously know James, forced his way there a little bit later than the other two. But listen, we've said it all along. There's a reason they're the favorite. You've got three guys that you've got to game plan for. All three guys you've got to guard with multiple defenders or you're in a bind. Well, that's absolutely impossible. Three guys who are shot makers. Now, down in clutch games, of the three right now, the highest field goal percentage is Kyrie Irving, but I still, if it's me, I want Kevin Durant to have the ball. Yeah. But there's just so many options. And here's what I think is not talked about enough is there's been a level of consistency from three guys in particular that I think have been critical to their success, and they don't get any run in terms of our conversations. Jeff Green, he's been rock solid, and I would say it's a toss-up between he and Joe Harris for who has been the most consistent net, both in availability and what you can count on night by night. Versatile on both ends. Can play the 5 spot if you need to, if he's going to downsize and you want to match Kevin Durant on a 4. And then Joe Harris. Like, Joe did not play well offensively, didn't shoot it well, but boy, he was grinding on the defensive end. He gets himself in bad matchups because of the switches, and he'll find a way to dig it out. And then Bruce Brown, who, you'd say, how is this guy fitting in? Because he's an exceptional cutter. Put him in a ball screen action, and he just figures out a space to be in, and he's really smart. So, I agree with you, Alan. I just think, the Sixers are the most legitimate threat in my mind, but it's hard to envision Brooklyn losing.